In this world, we are all terminally tech frustrated. Even if we can get used to being plugged into our devices 24/7 and accept that Siri knows more about us than we know ourselves, sometimes there's a limit. Like, how long does it take to download 85 GB Steam games? That said, even the biggest tech enthusiast will be satisfied with today's topic, because we're going to talk about a technology that will reduce the time taken to travel from Earth to Mars to just 10 days. Yes, that fast. So let's explore breakthrough technology for ultra-fast travel. As of today, it takes around 6 to 9 months for any spacecraft to reach the Red Planet. The longest space mission ever undertaken by humans was NASA's Voyager 2, which traveled for 14 years to reach its destination. This is mainly because the conventional rockets we use rely on chemical propellants to generate thrust, but the innovative technology we're going to discuss today uses completely different methods such as nuclear propulsion, plasma engines, or light-based propulsion to achieve unimaginably high speeds. And as we know, speed equals time divided by distance. So let's start off with nuclear propulsion. Nuclear thermal rocket engine. Nuclear thermal rocket engine is an advanced propulsion system that harnesses the power of nuclear fission to generate thrust. It offers several advantages over conventional chemical rockets. First, it has higher specific impulse, which means it can produce more thrust per unit of propellant. A higher specific impulse results in greater fuel efficiency, allowing the spacecraft to travel farther distances or carry more payload. Additionally, nuclear thermal rockets offer the ability to operate at higher temperatures, enabling better performance and more efficient use of propellants. One of the key benefits of nuclear thermal rockets is their faster acceleration capability. They can accelerate much quicker than chemical rockets, which is crucial for reaching high speeds and escaping the gravitational pull of planets or other celestial bodies. This rapid acceleration can significantly reduce travel time, allowing spacecraft to reach their destinations faster. Moreover, nuclear thermal rockets have the potential for in-space refueling, which means they don't have to carry their entire fuel supply with them from Earth. Instead, they can refuel while in space using resources available on other planets or asteroids. This capability enables extended missions and exploration of more distant destinations. However, despite these advantages, there are also challenges associated with nuclear thermal rocket engines. One major concern is the safety and reliability of the propulsion system. Dealing with nuclear materials carries inherent risks, and any malfunction could potentially lead to the release of radioactive substances. It's essential to ensure the engine's safety and reliability through rigorous testing and robust design. Another challenge is the potential for nuclear waste. Nuclear thermal rockets produce radioactive waste that requires proper disposal or recycling. Failure to manage this waste responsibly could have negative environmental consequences. Additionally, the cost of developing and maintaining nuclear thermal rocket engines is high due to the complexity of the technology and the need for specialized expertise. Despite these challenges, the advantages of nuclear thermal rocket engines make them an attractive option for deep space exploration. With continued research and technological advancements, these engines may become a viable means of reducing travel time to distant destinations like Mars. So what do you think of this method? Let us know in the comments below. Traveling at the speed of light. At first, this may sound impossible, but scientists believe that one day we might be able to develop a spacecraft that travels at the speed of light. There's no known physical law that prevents us from achieving this. According to Einstein's theory of special relativity, mass increases as an object approaches the speed of light. This means that as a spacecraft accelerates, its mass would keep increasing, requiring more energy to continue accelerating. However, if we can find a way to harness infinite energy sources, then theoretically we can overcome this problem and propel a spacecraft to the speed of light. Light sails. A light sail is a fascinating concept that utilizes the pressure exerted by light to propel a spacecraft without any onboard propellant. Here's how it works. A large, thin, and highly reflective sail is deployed in space, typically in the path of light or another radiant energy source. When the light photons strike the sail, they reflect off the surface, creating a small amount of thrust. This thrust can be harnessed to accelerate a spacecraft over time. The acceleration is very gradual, but with continuous exposure to light, the spacecraft can build up speed. One advantage of light sails is that they can operate indefinitely, as long as they are exposed to light. This makes them potentially useful for long-duration missions or even interstellar travel. Additionally, since they don't carry propellant, light sails can be very lightweight, reducing the overall mass of the spacecraft. This allows for greater payload capacity or increased scientific instruments. While light sails offer intriguing possibilities, there are also challenges associated with their use. The thrust generated by light sails is extremely small, requiring very large sails to achieve significant acceleration. This poses engineering difficulties in terms of deploying and maintaining such large structures. Moreover, light sails are dependent on the availability of light sources, which may not always be reliable, especially when exploring regions of space where light is scarce. Nevertheless, the concept of light sails continues to be explored and refined. With further advancements in materials and engineering, light sails could become a viable means of spacecraft propulsion, enabling new possibilities for space exploration. Plasma engines. A plasma engine, also known as a plasma thruster, is a type of spacecraft propulsion system that uses ionized gas, also known as plasma, to generate thrust. Here's how it works. First, a gas, typically argon or xenon, is injected into the engine and then ionized by applying a high-voltage electric field. This creates a plasma, which is a superheated and electrically charged gas. The plasma is then accelerated by an electromagnetic field, producing thrust in the direction opposite to the applied field. Plasma engines offer several unique properties and capabilities. They can operate continuously for extended periods, allowing for precise and sustained thrust control. Moreover, plasma engines can achieve high specific impulse values, resulting in efficient and maneuverable operation. They can operate in a wide range of environments, including the harsh conditions of space. One notable example of a plasma engine is the Hall thruster, a type of plasma engine that uses a magnetic field to confine the plasma and direct the thrust. Hall thrusters are known for their high efficiency and have been used in various spacecraft, including the Dawn spacecraft that explored the asteroid Ceres and the planet Mercury. Another type of plasma engine is the Helicon thruster, which uses a combination of electric and magnetic fields to create a rotating plasma. These engines offer high thrust-to-weight ratios, making them suitable for applications requiring strong acceleration. Helicon thrusters have been investigated for use in satellite station keeping and interplanetary missions. So will we be able to reduce the time taken to reach Mars to just 10 days? Well, at the speed of light. Yes, if we could build a ship capable of traveling at 1/3 the speed of light, we could get to Mars in just over 3 days. But the technology needed to achieve those speeds is far beyond what we are capable of today. However, the development of nuclear thermal rocket engines, light sails, and plasma engines could bring us closer to this goal. Each of these technologies offers unique solutions for spacecraft propulsion, potentially reducing travel time to Mars and enabling further exploration of the solar system. Will astronauts be okay at those speeds? However, the human body is not designed to withstand the extreme forces and conditions that would be involved in such high-speed space travel. The intense G-forces experienced during acceleration and deceleration could cause severe physical stress, potentially damaging internal organs and affecting astronaut health. To ensure astronaut well-being during high-speed travel, it would be crucial to develop advanced life support systems and medical technologies that can counteract these effects. Radiation exposure. Traveling at high speeds through space poses a significant challenge in terms of radiation exposure. As spacecraft move faster, they encounter a greater amount of cosmic radiation, which can have detrimental effects on human health. To mitigate radiation risks, it would be essential to develop effective shielding methods and medical countermeasures. Additionally, careful planning of flight paths to avoid high radiation areas would be necessary. The immense energy required to accelerate a spacecraft to such high speeds would pose significant technical challenges. Controlling and managing this vast amount of energy effectively is crucial to prevent catastrophic accidents. Advancements in power generation, energy storage, and propulsion systems would be necessary to harness and utilize this energy safely and efficiently. What if we told you that you could get from Earth to Mars in just 10 days? If that sounds like science fiction, then think again. With recent advances in propulsion technology, a 10-day trip to the Red Planet is no longer a far-fetched idea but a real possibility. And that's not all. In addition to making interplanetary travel more accessible than ever before, this breakthrough promises to usher in a new era of space exploration with profound implications for humanity's future. So buckle up as we take a journey through the incredible advancements that are making an Earth-to-Mars trip in just 10 days a reality. The implications of such a breakthrough are staggering. A 10-day journey would cut down the time for a mission to Mars by a factor of 3, opening the door to a whole host of new possibilities for space travel and exploration. The potential applications are endless. Imagine being able to visit Mars without having to commit to a year-long voyage. Imagine the scientific discoveries that could be made in just 10 days on the surface of another planet. It's hard to overstate the impact that such a breakthrough would have on our understanding of the universe, but the benefits don't stop there. A 10-day journey to Mars would also have profound implications for humanity's future. For example, it would make Mars colonization much more feasible, which in turn could help us to secure our species' future among the stars. Mars has long been seen as a potential home for humans in the future, and for good reason. It's as close enough to Earth that we can realistically travel back and forth between the two planets, and it has a relatively Earth-like environment, making it a potentially hospitable place for human life. But there are challenges that stand in our way, one of the biggest being the amount of time it takes to get there. A typical mission to Mars takes around 6 months each way, meaning that astronauts have to be prepared to be away from Earth for an entire year or more. This is a huge undertaking that requires a lot of planning and resources, not to mention the psychological toll it takes on the crew. But a 10-day journey would change everything. It would make Mars colonization much more feasible by reducing the time commitment required to a fraction of what it is today. This would allow more people to experience life on Mars and help us to establish a permanent presence on the planet. In addition to its potential to accelerate Mars colonization, a 10-day journey to Mars would also have significant implications for the use of Martian resources. One of the biggest challenges facing any human settlement on Mars will be the need to sustain itself. We'll need to find ways to grow food, extract water and other essential resources from the planet's surface. But with only 10 days on the planet, we may not have enough time to figure out how to do that. Well, actually we do, because the first manned missions to Mars will probably be equipped with the necessary infrastructure to survive and study the planet. But this would mean that the planet's resources would remain largely untapped until we find a way to shorten the travel time. A 10-day journey would change that by allowing us to spend more time exploring and utilizing Martian resources. This would help us to develop the technologies we need to sustain ourselves on the planet and make Mars a more viable option for colonization. A 10-day trip to Mars would also pave the way for exploration of other planets and celestial bodies. With the ability to travel quickly and easily between Earth and Mars, we could begin to explore other parts of our solar system that have never been seen by human eyes before. This could lead to the discovery of new life forms and new worlds, expanding our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It truly is a thrilling prospect that has captured the imaginations of scientists, engineers, and space enthusiasts alike. So how is it possible? What breakthroughs are on the horizon that could make a 10-day trip to Mars a reality? One promising development is the concept of nuclear thermal propulsion. This technology uses a nuclear reactor to heat a propellant, which is then expelled out the back of the spacecraft to generate thrust. Nuclear thermal rockets could potentially travel 5 times faster than conventional chemical rockets, making it possible to reach Mars in just 10 days. Another exciting development is the use of solar sails. These are large, thin sheets of material that are deployed behind a spacecraft to harness the pressure of sunlight and push it along. Solar sails are already being used by several spacecraft, including the Japanese IC-3 and the Planetary Society-S Light Sail 2. And with advancements in material science, solar sails could become stronger and more efficient, allowing for faster and more ambitious missions to Mars and beyond. In addition to these propulsion technologies, we're also making progress in developing lightweight and durable materials that can withstand the rigors of space travel. As spacecraft become more efficient and robust, they'll be able to travel faster and carry more payload, making it easier to reach Mars in just 10 days. Of course, getting from Earth to Mars in 10 days would require more than just technological advancements. It would also require careful planning and coordination. We'd need to launch our spacecraft at the optimal time to take advantage of the planet's relative positions and ensure a safe and efficient journey. This would involve complex orbital mechanics and navigation, as well as precise timing to make sure that the spacecraft arrives at Mars when it's most favorable. Fortunately, with advancements in computer technology and our understanding of orbital mechanics, we're well on our way to being able to plan and execute the complex maneuvers required to make a 10-day trip to Mars a reality. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Is any of this actually possible? Could we really see a 10-day trip to Mars in our lifetimes, or is it still a distant dream? Well, the answer might surprise you. It turns out that a 10-day trip to Mars is not as far-fetched as you might think. In fact, with the current rate of technological advancement, it could be possible within a few decades. Let's consider the journey to Mars with the current technology. A typical mission takes around 9 months to reach the red planet, at an average speed of 25,000 miles per hour. This means that spacecraft cover a distance of roughly 300 million miles. Now let us assume that we were able to double the speed of this journey to 50,000 miles per hour. This would reduce the travel time to just 45 days. While doubling the speed may seem like a big challenge, it's worth noting that the fastest spacecraft ever built by humans have reached speeds of over 26,000 miles per hour. This was achieved by the Parker Solar Probe, which studies the Sun's atmosphere. Therefore, it's not impossible to imagine future spacecraft capable of reaching speeds of 50,000 miles per hour. This means that with current technology, we could theoretically reach Mars in just 45 days. And with continued advancements in propulsion systems and materials, we could potentially reduce the travel time even further. In fact, NASA has already set its sights on reaching Mars in just 45 days. The agency's Mars Transit Hab, or MTH, is a proposed vehicle that would transport astronauts to and from the red planet in record time. According to NASA, the MTH would make the journey from Earth to Mars in just 45 days using a combination of chemical and electric propulsion. The vehicle would also feature advanced life support systems to ensure the safety and well-being of the astronauts during the journey. Overall, NASA's MTH concept is an exciting development in our quest to explore Mars and beyond. While the timeline remains uncertain, the agency's commitment to pushing the boundaries of space exploration is clear. So is this future possible? Could we see a 10-day trip to Mars within a few decades, or is it still a distant dream? Well, the truth is that it's impossible to say for sure. But with the rapid pace of technological advancement, anything is possible. What we do know is that a 10-day trip to Mars would have profound implications for space exploration and humanity's future among the stars. It would open up new possibilities for travel, colonization, and scientific discovery like never before. Whether or not it's possible, the dream of reaching Mars in just 10 days continues to capture the imagination and inspire innovation. And that in itself is an exciting prospect. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the incredible advancements that are bringing us closer to a 10-day trip to Mars. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Until next time, keep looking up.